One of my neighbors had a little box of produce out there that said free that she didn't want. So I picked a few items out of her box. Now I have 2 orange peppers and a brand new package of grape tomatoes that I can add to my food stores here in the camper. I don't have either one of these right now, and I thought they'd be a good addition to my salads.
Hi, I'm Bonita and I am early retired. I'm not old enough yet for Social Security. I'm living on a low income and I am living off of savings. And right now I'm spending the winter in my RV in the Rio Grande Valley in South Texas. I normally live in Kansas. I have frugal videos all year round, and I hope that you will join me this year in 2025 as we share ways to save money and live our dreams.
We have a beautiful sunny day here in the Rio Grande Valley today. So it's a great day to get outside, get a little exercise, take the trash to the dumpster, water the plants, and I have my laundry drying in my $12 drying rack that I bought off of Facebook Marketplace that has saved me so much money.
We finally have a sunny day here in Texas. I was able to open the screen door and I'm taking my trash down to the dumpster. It's about zero point 0.6 of a mile round trip, and this is part of my daily routine. This gentleman's garden is the talk of the community. He planted this in October. He plants this every year and he just does a superb job and gets cabbage and lettuce and all kinds of things from this small garden. After doing some chores, I'm sitting down about 2 o'clock to have my lunch from some of my garden fresh produce, a couple of the items that I got free from the neighbor, and I'm having a delicious salad in the sunlight. As you can see, I'm not the only one happy that the sun is shining today. Fluff has found himself a sunbeam to just roll over and look like a fool here right in front of the screen door, and he is enjoying himself thoroughly. I don't know if cats get embarrassed, so he might be embarrassed to know that I'm showing him on the video. Simple living is just that. It's just a relaxed, laid back type of living that is not a lot of stress. And that's what I have strived for in retirement. Now, we think back to the Depression era, and my parents were raised in the Depression era. I was raised the same way, and I have a 31-year-old daughter who also says she was raised like she was from the Depression. So I guess a lot of those habits and traits have carried onward. But thinking back even to the 40s, my in laws are from the 40s, and my father in law was telling me some things about when he grew up, and I just found them to be so interesting. And sometimes we don't think we have enough. So I wanted to share these stories to remind us of how blessed we are. He went to a 2-room schoolhouse in Kansas, and the mothers of the kids took turns every single day making the lunches for the kids. They didn't take their lunch, the mothers made them, and every day it was beans. He said that he looked forward, and the other kids did too, to his mother cooking because she would serve beans that were not the butter beans. He said the butter beans were no one's favorite, and a lot of the mothers made butter beans. Now, butter beans are just a large lima bean, and a lot of people have a lot of problems with lima beans. I personally like butter beans. I like lima beans. But he said even at home, his mother always had a pot of beans going on the wood stove, and they ate beans twice a day. I asked my father in law what type of beans he grew up eating, and he said they were white beans. And I asked him if they ever had meat in them. He said sometimes bacon, sometimes ham, if we had it. Otherwise, no. Now, my dad was born in 29 and he took his lunch to school, and so did my mother. But my mother always told me of a story where his lunchbox came open, his cookies rolled down the stairs in the schoolhouse, and everybody made fun of him because, get this, his cookies were purchased from a grocery store, and they made fun of him because his cookies were not homemade. Now, isn't that backwards today? And I love that story because it just shows the values and how things were done on a day to day basis, and how cooking at home was normal back then. Buying things pre made from the store was not normal. Now, my mother and father in law just got a home delivery of groceries just the other day. And I haven't been to the grocery store since I've been down here. I haven't needed anything. I bought that 3-pack of onions that I showed you from the farmer's market, but I haven't bought anything except cat litter and 3 birthday cards and those onions since I've been here. So I've spent about a total of $12. And they said that they needed to get some things from the store. And my father in law said, "Now, what did we need?" And my mother in law said, "We needed cookies." And he said, "That's right, we needed cookies." And it just reminded me of that story. So he grew up with beans, but they now purchase cookies from the store. And my dad, who purchased cookies from the store, got made fun of. I was raised in a farming family and we lived off the land. I don't know how many times I heard that growing up. We live off the land. Now that's called homesteading or living off grid. A lot of people aspire to do that. It's a hard life. But I still live off the land of sorts. And as you saw, some of my land is in pots. But I'm still able to make my own fresh salads, and I'm able to go out and harvest some of that, and it really feels good. Now, some of the other things that I do while I'm in the camper is there are some newspapers that you can pick up over at our little post office here in the community, and it tells you what's going on. Well, when I'm done with those newspapers, I will save them and I will use my vinegar and water solution, and I'll use them to clean the windows on my RV, and I'll use them to clean my mirrors in the camper, and I will use them like they are paper towels. And I get a second use out of everything that I possibly can because I just don't believe in wasting. And a lot of that was ingrained in me as a child of Depression era parents. I've shared with you that I do some mystery shopping when I'm at home in Kansas. There aren't any opportunities within several hours down here where I am, but at home, I did several of those, and around the holidays, they gave us a $20 gift card. And I was able to choose where I wanted that gift card to come from. So, since I knew I was coming to Texas, I knew I had that extra gas to get down here. I chose Walmart, which is one of the grocery stores down here. So, my first $20 worth of food when I need it will be on that gift card. Sometimes simple living can be glamorized or romanticized, and people will think that it's a lot more than it is. But for me, it is freedom, it is relaxation, it is contentment, it is less stress. So to me, that is glamorous and romanticized. I wouldn't trade that for anything. Now, part of my simple life does include pets. As you've seen, I have Fluff here. We also have 2 indoor cats at home, Yogi and Maxie. Maxie is HIV positive, and I have outside cats, and we also have a donkey. Now, we had goats for about 25 years. They were pets. They were not taken to market. They were our dogs in a sense. And my husband had a dog for many, many years, and then he finally passed away of old age. Now, when we have these pets in our life, I feel like they bring us value. They bring us peace. They bring us comfort. Sometimes they bring us someone to talk to when we are alone, or someone that will listen to us when we are afraid to talk to friends or family. Sometimes they are just that special person in our life that we can count on. And it does come with an expense, but we feel like that expense is worthwhile. Now, we are very blessed. We have a country veterinarian. He will come out and do large animals at the farms. He has about 3 veterinarians that work there, and he's super reasonable. We get our medicine for our cats from him. He dispenses it right there. It's very, very affordable. A lot of times, if you go in and your animal has like an office call, maybe a procedure or a test and some meds, you'll walk out of there maybe paying $40 or $50. We had some things going on with our pets this last year. One of our cats had choked on something. They even scoped her. She was in there like 3 different times that week, and we paid about $90 for that. But we feel like those expenses are like medical expenses for your family. They are part of our family. And maybe it is because I have a farm background, but I've always been around animals in my daily life. They are part of my life. I've always had a pet. I can't imagine ever being without a pet at any point in my life. And so they are a must have in our household. Everyone has to make the decision on whether or not pets are something that they feel like they can afford, that they feel like is something they want to spend their money on. But for us, it is something that we feel is worthwhile. Now, our outdoor cats, we do not spend money on them. They disappear randomly. We have coyotes, we have foxes, we have bobcats, we have a mountain lion. We have a lot of wildlife out there, and sometimes they will just disappear. So we've made it a rule to only spend money on the indoor cats. The outdoor cats, we just don't do that because they just will randomly disappear because of all of the wildlife that we have. They usually stick close to the door, but some of them wander and some of them like to explore, especially the tomcats. So we don't know if they're going to be gone for a few days or if they're going to come back at all sometimes. So we just feed the ones that show up, and they do keep mice down. They do keep moles down. We feel like even the outdoor cats have value, even though we spend a lot on cat food. That's why I asked the question in my community poll on whether or not you had a pet. I have had people reach out to me and say, how do you afford this? Or do you believe in affording this for your household? And yes, we do. We make it a priority. Our animals are important to us. They bring us a lot of joy, a lot of comfort, and they're part of our family. We do budget for that. We budget about $50 a month towards our animals, and sometimes we end up spending more than that. What I was doing last year is I was including that $50 in our food budget. We had a food budget of $295, but 50 of it was for the animals. And if I spent less than the 245 on our personal food and we went over on the animal food, then I just tried to keep it within that 295. Now this year I'm going to try something different. This year I'm actually keeping track of the animal food and costs separate from the people food, and I'm going to see where we actually land, because I know last year we were probably spending more than $50 at times on the animals, and it was just coming out of our food budget. We still had plenty of food, plenty of back stock, so that wasn't an issue, but I'm just curious to see how much we are really spending on them and if my budget is accurate at $50. So that's why I separated that. We make choices every single day. And you've probably heard every choice in your life has led you to this point. And that's how I look at frugal living. Frugal living is all about choices. What's important to you? What brings you value? What makes your life meaningful? And how can you save money and still have the things that you want, you desire, the things that are the most important to you taken care of in your budget? So that's why everybody's personal budget will look different based on what those values are. But simple living can be included in still having some of the things that other people would find to be not frugal, including pets. So just because you have a pet doesn't mean that you're not frugal. Just because we travel doesn't mean that we're not frugal. Just because we buy Christmas presents and give our family birthday presents doesn't mean we're not frugal. We cut back in other areas so that those things are taken care of and we still are able to live a comfortable, simple life. So don't let anyone tell you that you're not frugal or you're not living simply if you have some of the things that they don't find to be on that frugal list. All of our checklists look different. I hope you've enjoyed this video today. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it so very much. This channel is growing. I'm so happy that all of you have been a part of it. I am at my 4-year mark, so I'm thrilled about that. It has been a wonderful experience for me. I've made so many friends and I'm making more all the time. I hope you have a great day and I hope to see you in the next video.